Hello, everyone. This is Faye, and I sell Medicare plans. This is the podcast where I'm not kidding you, it's everyone who is an insurance professional and really wants to know what they should be doing in this insurance space out here in these insurance streets, anything about Medicare, this is where they come. So if you're here and you're listening to us today, thank you so very much for being our listening audience. I have with me a very exceptionally special guest today. I have interviewed many people here on I Sell Medicare Plans podcast, but this gentleman actually found me, and then I was so intrigued. I've been like tagging him, let's get together. I got to get you on the podcast. I want to welcome Kris Kuesh. Hi, Kris.
Hi, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so very welcome. I was just down in your neck of the woods last weekend. I was there actually from Thursday to Sunday. You're in Texas, right?
Dallas, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Well, I had to fly into DFW, and you know how it is flying into
Oh, man. It's huge.
DFW.
It's huge. It's like its own little city.
Yes. I was speaking with someone else who had to change planes, and I think it was Charlotte. And I said, no, Terminal A will fit in Charlotte's airport.
Yeah.
That's how big the DFW airport is. So listen, Kris, you've been in the Medicare space and in the insurance space for a little while.
Long time.
Okay. All right. So did you start with Medicare? How did you start?
No, I actually started doing under 65, and then I just kept taking steps and I don't want to say graduating, but just taking steps and learning more and more. And so Medicare was my next step after I did ACA and supplemental products, which I think was probably a pretty good step for me to start out with ACA and just kind of like, learn more through the years.
Yes, we're learning now. For those of us like myself that started in Medicare before ACA was even created, we're learning now that for newer agents, it might be easier, and it's often very much easier to start with the ACA. There are still more people who are not Medicare eligible than there are that are Medicare eligible, even though that number is growing daily. Right now, I think we're up to about 11,000 people turn 65 every month. So that number is increasing, but there's still a lot of ACA, Affordable Care Act, and Obamacare business out there. So when you started in the Medicare space, or are you still actually working in the field? Do you have an office? How do you actually work your Medicare business?
So I'm not currently writing right now at the time. This is my second book that I've written, and I've got a lot more that's coming out that we're doing. We got basically we'll have a book about every aspect of this business for agents to white label, to help get more clients or give current clients to get referrals. I've got a lot of agents that use these books basically for business cards, actually.
So actually, Kris, what you've decided to do with the talents and the skills and the experience that you've gleaned over the years, you have decided that you're going to prepare tools.
Yes, ma'am.
For us as insurance professionals to use that will make our lives and our business easier. Is that right? Is that where you're headed with this?
That's 100% right. Over the years, I've been in this business a long time, and I went round and round with a lot of these IMOs, and you contract, and they're like, "Thanks, go write some business." Well, I don't even have a toolbox with tools in it. So between that and me being in the Dallas area, I needed to come up with a way that if we're both doing social media ads or webinars or luncheons or whatever the case may be, why am I different from the other person? Maybe the other person's been doing this for 50 years, you know? Why am I different? I'm not saying better, but different. Why am I different from them? So I just started coming up with all these thoughts of like, why or how can I differentiate myself from somebody else? So the first book I wrote was Retirement Planning, What You Don't Know Will Hurt You. Man, my first week I blew up. I mean, I did a lot of sales with that one. One of my friends says, well, I want to try that. Let's see what we can do. I'm like, how do we do that? I don't even know how to do that. So I talked to my publishing company and I said, look, I want to use my book, all my stuff, but I want to give it to another agent to let him use. They're like, yeah, that's called white label. I'm like, okay, I'm familiar with that term. I know what that means. So let him do it, let him try it. He was successful with it. I'm like, we're on to something here. So I launched my retirement planning book, did really well with agents doing that. And now they're wanting different books. So like every agent I talk to is like, can you write a book about this? Can you write a book about that? And I was like, I love all those ideas, but my Medicare book is my next book. First and foremost, that's the next one. So started the Medicare book. I think within the first 3 or 4 weeks, we got 80 agents that signed up on it. So that's one of the things that we're doing that's different, right? So if you're going to host or do any sort of marketing, and I'm going to do some marketing, I've got a book with my face and my information on there. They're going to be like, well, let me call the guy that actually wrote a book about that. And one of the things that we do is we don't have any of our information on these books. It's all you, 100% you. It's not co-authoring or co-writing. We don't want our information on here. We want you to get full credit of everything that you have with these books. So we absolutely remove all of our stuff also.
So now I'm that simple person, you know, you have to tell me step 1, step 2, step 3. That's me. So let me make sure that I've got clarity here. So you have a book now that is written specifically for the Medicare market.
Yes, ma'am.
And that book can be white labeled, which means that I can buy it. It can have my branding, my name, my contact information on the cover, and my picture.
Yes, ma'am.
On the cover.
Yeah.
And then I order those books directly from you.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I am able to give them out as marketing pieces however I choose.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that it? I got it. I got the 1, 2, 3.
Yes, ma'am.
I got it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Kris, is it a long process for someone to place an order? How long does it take before you're able to receive your order?
No, it's not. And I've amped up for this because I wanted to make sure that I have everything ready, done, and for you guys before the first day of open enrollment. So I've brought in a lot more help to do that with. The longest process, I'm gonna be honest with you, is the agent signing up, right? So these books are normally, I'm the only guy that's doing the Medicare book. There's quite a few that do the other books, but our books are normally $2,000. And my marketing team said, let's drop the price to $500. I about crapped. So I'm like, are you kidding me? That's a 75% discount of what we're doing. They're like, more the merrier. And you want to help people, so let's do this. I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So normally I would take half up front, and then that would get us going, working on the cover, getting everything ready. And then once you approve the cover, then we would take the other half. So now it's only $250 to get me going, get going. And then once we get the cover approved, it takes about 3 days, sometimes faster. Then you pay the other $250 to get the book.
So now you get just that one single book. So what about the reprints?
The reprints, yes. So that's about a 7-day from payment to ship.
Mm-hmm.
From payment to ship. So I say 7 days. Sometimes we can get it in a little bit sooner, but that's about 7 days. So the whole process literally can be done within a week and a half, provided the agent is working with us.
Okay.
So I've got a jot form that I have people fill out that gives me darn near everything I need. There might be a
Mhm.
couple back and forth emails. I'll send it over in a Word doc, like this is what you want on the front, this is what you want on the back, correct, right?
Mhm.
And then we'll have like 2 or 3 yeses through that. So I'll have the graphics design team send me a proof of what it's going to look like. You approve that. And then once we're ready to go to print, you'll approve it one more time because I want to make sure that we have, I mean, I've printed books of my own, but the phone number was wrong. I'm like, you're done, right? What are you going to do with,
Yeah.
100
Right.
books of wrong numbers?
Right.
Um, so yeah, I make sure crystal clear that everybody gets the correct proofs and everything's done. And then you'll sign a form saying, yes, I approve. Yes, everything is correct. So it's about a week and a half. We can probably knock everything out.
So how many books are you getting?
However many you want to order. I've never had anybody order less than 100. Um,
Okay.
so, but I guess to bring that up, correct? So you can do the paperback book, right? But I also have a
Mhm.
lot of agents that are phone only that would be, I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
they could purchase a paperback book and mail it to clients, which I have no problem with. I think it's a great idea. But we have a digital only book
Mhm.
that they can do, and they can send out an ebook to 1 million people at one time if they wanted to, or they can have it. I mean, I've seen all kinds of things, right? That you can have it in your email signature, you can post it on social media, you can tweet it, Skype it, whatever, right? You can do whatever you
Mhm.
want because it is an actual link, right?
Mhm.
So I've got people that do that as well. And like the books, it's a great way to get in the door with retirement communities too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and we
Yes.
also have a landing page, right? So whether you
Mhm.
do a paperback book or a digital book, we can design a custom landing page with all of your information on there, plus more, right? Because it's actually a
Mhm.
landing page. We're only limited to the size that we have on the back, but we can put as much information you want on that custom landing page, and it will have a link to your website. It'll also have a link to your calendar where they can schedule an appointment, which also you can send out social media. You can keep it in your email signature also. So it's a great way to utilize that.
Wow, that
Yeah.
sounds great.
Yeah.
And you've thought because you've done this before,
Mhm.
you've been out here, you know what goes on, you know what we is needed.
Yeah.
So you've created those things that will make life a lot easier.
Yep.
And there are so many agents who are coming into the Medicare arena now.
Yeah.
Well, obviously because of the residual income aspect, but there are more and more people who really want to help seniors and help other people.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm sure your part of your passion and your purpose was to just help agents, help them to do things a little differently, right?
Yeah. I've been burned a lot by companies, and I know I'm not the only one out there. I mean, I think the fall off is like 97, 98% of agents drag up and quit. Um, nobody tells you when you get in this industry that you got to know how to market, you got to know how to advertise, you got to know how to be branding, you have to do all these things. Like 3% of what you actually do is actually sitting down with the client and talking to them about products. Nobody tells people this. Um,
Right.
Now the IMOs, the marketers are like, give me your contracts, thanks, go make some money. And they know, it's a very small, it's less than 20%. They're actually going to be successful. And it bothers me that people are actually taking advantage of clients and agents in this industry and not telling them anything.
Hmm.
So so we also do social media. So I mean, like hand in hand. I want to know what I want is what I'm giving everybody else. That's what I'm trying to do. Is like, what will make me successful? Okay, let me give it to you. Did it make me successful? Okay, now let me give it to you. And I don't know. I just want to help these people. There's just so many agents out there. They're this close to making it successful in this life that they just need someone to reach down and give them a hand and be like, look, man, this is what made me successful. This is how I did it. I've got agents that will call me like, what do I do with this? And I'll talk to them for hours. here's some ideas, and I'll take some other agents' ideas and like, here's what this guy did or this woman did, and it made them successful. And it's gratifying to hear that I helped somebody. And to me, it's worth everything to know that I've helped people become successful in this industry.
Oh, that's great. You know, one of the things that impressed me, Kris, with what you're doing is you're not like everybody else trying to sell new agents leads.
No.
You know, you're not saying, you know, oh, I got the best leads now, come get them, and this will make you successful. What the method and the tools that you're going about to do this, the tool itself,
Yeah.
and then the strategies for using those tools are genuine, good marketing ideas that can last and build a relationship for the agents with their customers.
Yeah.
How do we get in touch with you? How does an agent contact you?
We can put a link up. So to make things easy, right? So my name is Kris, KRISKEUSH. Well, if you type that in .com, it'll actually go to my website.
Okay, spell it one more time.
KRISKEUSH.com
Okay.
will actually go to my website.
Okay, that's easy enough.
So I mean, my company's name is Agent Branding Pros. And people can misspell something or mistype something. So I try to make it simple. Like I said, in my world, I got to think of what's the simplest, easiest way to do something. And that's what I recreate for everybody else. I figure if you can remember my name, you can find me on, just type it in .com and it's there.
So, ladies and gentlemen who are listening to this podcast or watching it on the YouTube, the only thing that you need to be really careful about, KRIS is pretty simple. That last name, you got to put the E before the U.
Thank you.
KEUSH.com.
Yep.
So definitely, this is how you can reach Kris. He's available to answer any of your questions. Make sure that you reach out to ask your questions, get as much information about the books, the ebook, the print book, and the landing page. And Kris, you are planning to do something more, I understand.
Oh, yeah. I'm about to do a huge book promotion in about a week and a half or so, somewhere right around there. And once we get full, we're done for the rest of the year. Doesn't mean that you can still order the books. If you're a current client of us, we'll still assist and get you more books and all that, but we're not taking on any more agents. We want to take the rest of the year and work on all the other books that we've got coming. We will have educational videos. I'm trying, don't hold me to this, but I'm trying to do between 12 to 18 videos per topic, right? So Medicare, 12 to 18 topics per Medicare. Retirement, 12, it's life, and so on and so forth, right? And then I'm trying to do about 3 pre-recorded webinars, PowerPoints, whatever you want to call them, per topic also. So basically, by the time mid-January comes around, you will actually have a complete turnkey system to make you successful, other than a CRM system. I'm not touching those things. There's plenty of them out there. You guys can choose all those things.
Yeah.
But right now we're doing the books, and we've got, social media and pay-per-click ads that we do for everybody. I had to have something to go along to help this, right? But by this time next year, I'm hoping to offer everybody across this board a complete turnkey system. You could start today and have our complete system. You will have every marketing campaign that you'll ever possibly need. That's my goal. That's my goal.
That's a big goal, but you got to aim big.
Yeah. I want it to be affordable too. I want this thing to be affordable. I had one agent tell me he spent $10,000 to white label a retirement book. I'm like, you're out of your mind. And it was still, it was a co-author. It wasn't even all him. I'm like, 10 grand? At this time, my book was $2,000. I'm like, this is insane. he'd fall out of his chair if I told him I'm doing a Medicare book for $500.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Um, thank you so much, Kris.
Yes, ma'am.
The information was so useful. And when you get the others all set and you have things all put together, will you come back and tell us about it?
I definitely will. I definitely will.
Okay. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank
This
you,
has
ma'am.
been great.
Thank you for having
Listen,
me.
everyone, make sure that you go to Kris Kuesh. It's KrisKeush.com. Thank you again, Kris.
Thank you, ma'am.